Hi. I know I look a little rough, but I kind of had to do this intro. I tried to do videos a couple weeks out, and today's Q&A episode was filmed a couple weeks ago. And this was probably by far one of the hardest videos I've ever had edit, because a couple days ago, the boss crossed the Rainbow Bridge. The boss, aka Lola, or the Contessa, she meant everything to me. No matter how hard the day was, that sweet little face was always waiting for me, to comfort me and to give me love. And she did. She gave me a lot of it. Lola has kept me going through some really tough times. It's hard to know how to navigate life without her, and I'm going to miss her terribly. There are other videos that she's going to kind of be in with me mentioning her sneezing and snorkeling and all that kind of stuff. She actually co-stars in this video with me, so it kind of means a lot to me. I'm going to try to pull myself together to keep making content moving forward, but yeah, to say my heart is broken is kind of an understatement. So I hope you enjoy this video with me and my best friend. I'm going to miss her so. Hello there. So I'm usually holding a drink, but right now I'm holding the boss because she just had a sneezing attack and she's a little bit sniffly, and the only thing that makes her feel better when she has the sneezing attack is when her employee, aka me, holds her. So we're going to do this with the boss being directly involved in this video. Hopefully we won't have any more sneezing attacks. I don't think we will because she's pretty tired right now, but we'll see. I'm hoping she's going to fall asleep and I can put her in her bed for a good night's rest. But doesn't matter. The show must go on, and you've got questions. I've got answers. Let's talk about getting foreign currency. Now, if you've never traveled abroad and you don't know how much money to take with you or how to get it, I'm going to tell you all about that in this video. But before we do that, if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Gretchen, the Tipsy Travel Gal. This is my boss, Lola. I'm a licensed esthetician and a travel agent, and it is my goal to eat, drink, and spa my way around the world. Of course, I'm going to bring you with me. I'm going to show you some amazing things. Oh, P.U., Lola. I'm going to show you some amazing things to do, some fantastic things to see, and of course, show you some delicious things to eat and drink. My hope is that this is going to inspire you to travel, whether that be international or domestic. So if that is something that interests you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Also, in the description of this video is a link to my GoFundMe page. Please check that out. And if you'd like to make a donation, I would be forever grateful. But let's get into it. Let's talk about foreign currency. Now, first things first, you can't necessarily obtain all currency. For example, it is technically illegal for United States citizens to own Cuban dollars. Also, I've been doing a little bit of digging around. It's really hard to get rubles right now. So if you were planning on going someplace that maybe the relationship with the United States isn't great right now, check out the different options you may or may not have in order to obtain their currency. For the most part, it could make things very difficult for you. And in the event of, like, say you needed to go to Russia right now, none of your credit cards would work there because that is part of the sanctions against Russia for invading Ukraine. So that might actually change where you decide to go and what you decide to do. So just keep that in mind if you are planning a trip along those lines. But we're just going to assume from here on out that the currency that you want to acquire is for a country that has a great relationship with the United States and we can legally obtain it. So let's move forward from there. Now, how do you get foreign currency? Well, there's several different ways you can obtain it. One is to actually order it before your trip. A lot of larger banks and credit unions can order you currency. Check with your financial institution and see if they do that. And if they don't, see if they can recommend you to some place that does. When you order currency from them, you have to give them a specific amount, and you also get the exchange rate on that day. So if it's high on the day you get it and it spikes the next day. It just kind of is what it is. It'll take you about 2 to 7 days to get this money most of the time, especially for things like euros or sterling pounds. You're going to get it within 48 hours, but give yourself at least a week to get it, especially if you are in an area that is not close to a major city, to make it easier for them to procure that money. Next up is, of course, currency exchanges. Now, not all local currency exchanges can exchange for foreign currency. Anything that's in like a tourist location or the airports will have currency exchanges. So just as with you when you are ordering foreign currency, when you exchange at a currency exchange, it will be what the currency exchange rate is at that very moment. Because remember, it can fluctuate throughout the day as well. Plus, currency exchanges will add on an additional fee. So let's say it's going to be $1 for €1. They're going to say for €1, we're going to charge you $1.20. And it kind of depends upon the currency exchange that you go to. There is no specific fee structure. So if you are going to be using currency exchanges, kind of walk around and look for the best one. Now, there are always currency exchanges in airports, but keep in mind that they have some of the highest fees out there. So if you can, try to get some money ahead of time. However, if you don't have time to get in advance and you need some money for it, be it a cab or something at the airport to get you to your hotel, get a very small amount, something that will get you to your location, and then use one of the other options that are available to get more currency. Now, many hotels will also exchange your currency for you, and usually you won't have a problem exchanging dollars at any hotel. But not all do. So if that's something that you're thinking about doing, you might want to check with the hotel in advance just to see if they will exchange money for you. Again, as with ordering it and the currency exchange, you're going to get the rate of the day. They usually will choose whatever rate it starts with the day. And they too will also add a fee to it. Sometimes it's expensive. It all depends upon the hotel chain that you're at. That additional fee will be tacked onto the exchange rate as well. Next up, you can get money from ATMs there. And your debit card will work in any of those ATM machines. So make sure you have your debit card, you know your PIN code. You also can do it with a credit card. You can take a cash advance out on your credit card through ATMs. If you are planning on doing that, make sure you get a PIN code for your credit card before you go. However, I would stay away from using my credit card as much as possible for a cash advance because the interest rates are much more expensive, and they also have foreign transaction fees that will be tacked on top of it. Of all the options that I've given you, this is going to be probably one of the cheapest options. However, before you go, just make sure that ATMs will accept American debit cards just in case. Well, the final options that you can also do is just like in the United States, when you are making purchases, especially in grocery stores, pharmacies, a lot of times you can get cash back. So if you don't want a lot of cash on you, but you want to have some, you can go buy something and then get cash back. If you want to get small amounts of cash, that's actually a great way to do it. Now let's talk about how much money you should take. Me personally, I have a credit card that doesn't have any foreign transaction fees on it. It is a credit card that I pay a regular fee for because I do a lot of international travel. It's just easier that way. Everything is on my credit card. If there's any fraud involved, they're not emptying out my checking account. Also, I'm not going to have cash that I'm going to be carrying around that can either get stolen out of my hotel room or, God forbid, if I get mugged somewhere. But credit cards aren't necessarily accepted everywhere. Cabs prefer cash most of the time. If you're doing like street vendors, a lot of them do credit cards nowadays, but a lot of them also would prefer cash. And, these smaller vendors on the street, they usually all prefer cash. I would definitely shop around for a credit card with no transaction fees, but usually, the gauge that people give you is $50 to $100 per day to have in cash. Now, again, since I use my credit card for most transactions and most purchases, I usually go towards the $50 mark just to make sure that I've got some cash for the day. I can pay for things in cash, but knowing that most of my shopping and things of that nature are going to be done on my credit card. Now, if you don't want to use a credit card or you don't want to pay foreign transaction fees, then you probably want to get closer to the $100 a day so that way you have money to purchase things. Really, when it boils right down to it, it comes down to how much money you want to spend per day on things like food, shopping, and excursions. For a lot of things, you can check beforehand. Like, for example, I recently talked about Osaka Castle. I found out how much it costs in US dollars to go into Osaka Castle by looking it up on the website. So if you don't want to use a credit card overseas, but you want to make sure you have enough money to cover the things you want to buy, the food you want to eat, as well as any excursions that you want to do. So I hope that answered any questions you may have about foreign currency, how to get it, and how much you should take with you. If you have any questions about this video, or if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, please feel free to comment below. You also have the ability to go to any of the other large social media sites. I am Tipsy Travel Gal, all one word, on all the major social media sites. You can message me or comment on anything there. Also, if you want to go to my website, tipsytravelgal.com, there is a contact me link at the top of the page. Click on that and you will be able to send me an email directly. Again, if you like this video, please give it a good old like and consider subscribing to my channel. But until the next time, bye.